Oo, so gin-convert na naman ng isa di ka place sa balay nga studio na kay
Okay, di ba?
So oo, work from home na eh. So we tape everything here sa balay. So may gamay ko din nga studio.
Correct, that's good
Mm-mm.
Hi guys and welcome to Exhibition, Iloilo'S podcast featuring people, places, and events here in Iloilo City.
We envision Iloilo City teaming with artists who are given venue to discover and share their creative understanding of the world.
Hello. Once again, we are here on another episode of Exhibition, Iloilo'S podcast featuring the people, places, and events here in the city of Iloilo. We have a wonderful, wonderful show in store for you today. We have the first Filipino to win the World Championship of Performing Arts back in 2005. He is also a regular judge from the famous singing contest of It's Showtime, Tawag ng Tanghalan. He is a composer, a TV host, and actor. Let us welcome Iloilo's pride, our very own Jed Madela. Here we go. Hello, Sir Jed. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to interview you. How are you?
Of course, I'm good. I'm doing okay. Thank you for having me here. Salamat, Ged, sa pag-invite sa akon dire.
It's our pleasure, Sir Jed. And din ka subong, if you don't mind.
I'm in Manila. I'm at home. Of course, I wasn't able to go home sang nag-start ng mga lockdown. So, and plus, work is here. So, dire, ari ko sa Manila, subong.
And if I'm correct, that's the famous studio where you host ang events ng ABS-CBN as of now.
Yes, that's true. Since everything is work from home, na most of the time we do our tapings and shootings there sa balay. So might as well, we set up this area sa balay where I do our shows from ABS, where I do the pop stage, that contest, and most of the shows are done here na sa balay subong kay wala na may gagwa.
So how does it feel doing it at home? Is it easier? Is it strange or what?
Well, at first it was very awkward, especially when you're used to performing for a live audience. You get your energy, you get your hype from the applause, the screams, the crowd, diba? Pero now that everything's at home and it's just me and my team, I had to adjust. Nag-adjust ko kay imagine after singing a very very big song, tapos bigla pagtapos ang song wala palakpak, wala sang scream. So it took a little bit of adjusting, but in a way it's easier. Kasi we work at a schedule, we work at a pace, and I control, somehow I control what we put out there.
You get to avoid the infamous Manila traffic.
Yes, wala na traffic, wala na hulat-hulat, It's funny because in our job, diba, they say that our job is like 95% waiting, 5% performance. So at least when you're here at home, we just schedule, we do our tapings as soon as we can get the material. So it's easier in that way, in that sense.
So how long have you been in the music industry?
siguro ano na, nasa 18 years.
Years. Wow.
Oo,
And
oo.
wow, that's congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you
for
very much.
being able to still excel at that certain length. So how did this passion for your music start?
Well, for those na hindi who do not know our family, I'm from the Tahan Langit family of Iloilo. I'm a Tahan Langit, and the Madela is just my screen name. And the Tahan Langit family is a musically inclined family. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the family na may mga kanta, gasaot, sa theater, magatukar instruments. So as far as I could remember, music has always been part of the family. There's no day that would pass sa balay namon nga why may tukar piano, why may kanta. Music's always there. So it has become like in our system already. Ako, I learned, I think I got into singing when I was like 2 or 3. Gamay pa ko, gakanta-kanta na ko kuno. And it was just a hobby. It was just a hobby. Kumbaga, it was a no big deal thing for us kasi everybody would be doing their own thing. So I never expected that this would be a career for
So when
me.
did you start to realize nga pwede mo ni siya gali maging career?
Late na kasi the reason why I went to Manila actually to be a flight attendant when I finished graduation. When I graduated sa San Agustin, I flew to Manila to apply as a flight attendant with no thoughts of getting into showbiz, Gid. And then when I applied for being a flight attendant, I was ready for training. And then for some random reason, we saw this ad. May ad kami nga na nakita sa TV na they were looking for singers. So nag-audition ako and I got into this band. So dito nag-start. And then wala gid, I didn't even think of it as a career. I was just playing around. And then eventually ayun, my tita managed me and then things just kind of fell into place.
So since everything fell into place, who actually inspired you to get into music? Sino gid ang una mo nga mga idols in the music industry, if there are any?
Well, I actually look up to a lot of people who has influenced me a lot. Sa local industry natin, of course, there's Martin Rivera, Gary Valenciano, Lea Salonga, Regine, Lani. Sila ang mga inspirasyon ko, Gid. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever think na I would be able to get to work with them eventually. Ako, I would buy their -1s, I would buy their tapes and cassettes, and I would sing their songs. And a complete fanboy, Gid. As in, I would be a huge fan of these guys, and never did I imagine na magiging kasama ko sila in my job.
Well, I'm sure I've watched a lot of their interviews, and they also speak highly of you.
Oh, thank you very much. It's actually it's very flattering, but at the same time, it's a huge pressure on my part. A huge responsibility. That's right. Kasi of course, when a Regine Velasquez or a Lea Salonga would praise you and put you on your pedestal, you can't afford to let them down. 'Di ba? So it's a pushing force for me to be better at what I do all the time because people expect so much. People talk highly of me. So sometimes it's pressure, but I look at it as a challenge for me na kailangan you have to live up to people's expectations kasi you're there not just to sing or to perform, but you're there to inspire as well. 'Di ba?
Oh, and also I would just like to ask, since it has been a very, very long career on your end, how has it varied compared to before, the musical landscape before as compared to now, given that there is already social media now assisting the up-and-coming artists as compared to your generation when you started?
Well, for me, I think there are pros and cons of it. I think during our time kasi, you really have to start from scratch. As in, you have to establish your name, kinanglan mo gid siya mag-perform sa mga bars, sa mga night spots. You have to record your album yourself and then send it, send your demos sa mga record labels. As in talaga, it's very physical. You have to do it yourself. Now it has changed a lot. For me, I think the world has become really small because of social media. It has become very easy. Ma-video ka lang, upload mo lang sa YouTube. You just wait,
You
di
get
ba?
famous overnight. You get to become famous overnight.
Yes. Sometimes it's overnight. Sometimes you have to wait a couple months, years. It's like hit and miss then. But then, siguro the advantage of us, of our time, was that you really went through everything. You really failed. You got up. You really learned from your mistakes. And then kumbaga na-establish mo gid imong ngalan. And then compared to now, that since it's very convenient, it's very fast. There's also a fast turnover of artists. I mean, like when people get tired of you, may bago na naman.
So
Diba?
you get famous, and after that, after a while, if you're not able to keep it up, you disappear because somebody else comes along.
Yes, that's true. And people forget. Kaya it's also, for us, siguro that was the advantage of our time. Kasi even if there's a lot of new artists coming up right now, we already established ourselves in our way na kumbaga manual namon gid established, and there's a certain degree of respect when people look at the old artists before. Kay ginpangabudlayan gid mo. I'm not saying naman na the new artists now are getting it easily. It's also difficult. There are also the cons na kumbaga yun nga we mentioned earlier, that kadasig sang turnover because there are new younger artists, there are more talented artists, there are more beautiful and handsome artists, diba? So there's a lot of factors. So there's advantages and disadvantages.
So you are actually now considered a legend together with the idol
Wow.
you have back then. Where do you attribute the longevity of your career?
Well, I think I just I owe this a lot to my family. I think my mom and my dad, I have high respect for them for raising us well. I'd like to believe that na parang it was a huge priority with my mom and my dad to establish the foundation of our values. And I think one thing that really stuck into my head na hindi ko gid makakalimtan was when my mom and my dad would always remind me of humility, remind me of being grounded, would remind me of my purpose. It's not all about me, and So I think it's the people I surround myself with. I am so blessed to be surrounded with amazing parents, amazing siblings, and people who believe in me. And these are the people na sang wala gid ang Jed Madela. I mean, sinuna si Jed Madela. They were the ones who were pushing me. They were the ones who were supporting me. So they are the ones that I keep. And kumbaga sila ang nagapa-touch ground sa akin. Whenever, of course, you can't help it when you're in this industry of you get so hooked up sometimes of the fame and sikat ka, but then sometimes you get so full of yourself. I'm blessed that there are people around me who remind me. They remind me of who Jed Tahan Langit is.
And by the way, Jed, how's Tito and Tita and Nang Joanne and your brother? How are they? Were you able to talk to them recently? Because I know
Yes.
you guys are in different places now. You're in different
Yes. That's true. I'm in Manila. My entire family is in Iloilo. Si Joanne, my sister, is in the United States. Well, my mom and my dad, they're doing very well. Permi na mo ginakigan kay permi galagaw. Pero subong na lockdown, syempre pahimuyong gid sila kay senior citizens naman sila. But they're doing okay. We just make sure that their health is always the priority. My brother is with them, and syempre ang lolo kag lola gid very happy sa ilang nga mga apo. My sister is in the States with her husband. They're both nurses, and saludo gid kami. They're frontliners, and we always pray for their safety. And as much as possible, we always get in touch as much as possible with technology. May FaceTime na, and I guess it's also because of this lockdown and this pandemic that we realized how important family is. So mas naging close kami, mas naging open kami sa isa't isa. So yun.
And given what you've told me, most of your success can be attributed to a very, very strong family that is supporting you since you started your career. But one thing I would also like to ask is that, I was browsing YouTube and I was able to see this, a few interviews. Can you please tell us about your fascination for Funko Pops?
Oh, well, I've always been a kid at heart, a big kid at heart. I've never grown up, I guess, when it comes to toys. I've loved toys since I was a kid. And I've been collecting stuff when I was bata pa ako. But then, of course, when I was a kid, I didn't have the means to buy whatever I wanted. So a couple years back, I got hooked into these toys called Funko Pops and started collecting them. And then now it has reached to like almost 2,000 pieces already.
2,000 pieces. Wow.
Yes, and I have an entire room here in my house where I collect. I put all my Funko Pops, and because of that, I got Rookie of the Year for the first year that I got into Funko Pops. And hindi, kasi I guess it's because these toys are not just toys. They're not just playthings. They are, for me, are reminders. They are reminders of how I was as a kid. Kumbaga, it also brings me back to that thought of how simple things were, na pag may hampanganan ka lang, happy ka na. Oo, sadya ka na. So, whenever I get so toxic with work, whenever I get so tired, I just lock myself inside my toy room, and then I just sit down and just arrange them. It's kind of therapeutic for me, and I look at them, and it kind of detoxifies my mind. So yun, and from Funko I expanded to more serious collectibles. Now I'm collecting art toys, and I myself now am a designer of art toys. I'm releasing my very first art toy in September, and his name is Voodoo, and unfortunately he's already sold out. Sayang, sold out na, but hopefully we're going to release more pieces, so you guys just check out my social media accounts for Voodoo, my very first art toy.
Okay, and of all the 2,000 Funko Pops, what's your favorite? Can you give me maybe the top 5?
Well, I think that's one of the most difficult questions whenever people would ask. It's the same as asking, what's your favorite song ever? It depends on my mood. But if you were to ask me, my top Funko Pop would be my Aladdin Funko Pop. That's my very first. Yun yung ang first ko gid nga nabakal nga pop. And I don't know, I guess Aladdin kind of reminds me of myself. Na parang, in you see this image of diba, si Aladdin is like a prince, parang decked in all those nice clothes, but then behind all those clothes, it's this simple guy who's from the probinsya, who's just normal like everybody else. So I guess I can relate much to that character.
And he worked for everything that he got.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah,
And-
minus the stealing.
And the genie.
And the genie. Sana nga may genie tayo, no?
Would be simpler. And also, if I can remember correctly, the group, Iloilo Primagalaw, actually collaborated with you and your family, because previously we used to go to Asilo de Molo and all this outreach program. What
Yes.
other outreach programs are you now engaged in? Because I know you and your family have a heart for giving back.
Well, it has always been my my thing to really give back, and I for the longest time I've been close to the elders, mga lolo kag lola gid. I've been a lolo and lola's boy talaga. So when I lost my grandparents, the longing for the love from grandparents, iba the attachment kasi. So that's why I'm all very active sa Asilo de Molo. Every December, as much as I can, I go home and spend time with the lolos and lolas. And here in Manila, we also visit mga home for the aged. I don't know. I guess I have this attachment to elders lang kasi. Okay then I also help out sa mga orphanages, sa mga kids, but then damo na gid, so many people support these kids already, and for me I think these kids have a brighter future ahead of them. They still have a lot of years ahead of them compared to our lolos and lolas na syempre, you know, in realistically speaking a couple years na lang, 'di ba? So I make it a point na to make all these years for them, you know, memorable and happy. So yun, and lately I've also been helping out ang mga upod namon di sa industriya nga nadulaan trabaho. Of course, we do fundraisings, we do online concerts to raise funds for fellow artists who lost their jobs because of what has happened right now.
So, as an artist, what do you think your role is in the current situation? In this pandemic season, what is your role? Because as we can see, everything has been scaled back. So most of the things that are being done right now are the basics. So what is the role of an artist now in this current situation?
Well, for me, I guess everything stopped. Yes, that's true. Everything stopped. Everything's back to basics. For us, I guess right now, yung pinaka-role namin as artists is to use our, you know, our name, our platforms to encourage people to help in any way that they can. Kahit pa paano, even if we're back to basics, kasi people will still look for entertainment, di ba? It's a way of escaping the realities of life sometimes na, you know, you just want to stop and listen to good music, watch a beautiful show, and help at the same time. So I guess that's our role right now. You know, when during, you know, the normal times, artists were just taken for granted na parang, oo, mga entertainers, ganon. But now, looking at what's happening, the first people, it's true that we are going to be the last who's going to go back to our normal work, because we interact with people. But if you notice that when everything stopped, you know, when there was that lockdown and everything stopped, who were the first people to get online and raise funds and start helping people? It was the artists, it was the singers, the artistas, the public figures, diba? So I think sana they would give value to the artists, because we were the first people to dive into this problem, to try to find solutions to help out and make things easier for other people.
And of course, given the influence and the reach, like you said earlier with your platforms, you are able to reach out to more people as compared to the other sectors in society. So, but speaking of artists, Sir Jed, I would also like to inquire about this special talent of yours of being able to imitate your fellow artists with their
Oh my God.
voices.
Well, it was a surprise for me as well, kasi I don't know, it just came out one day. I was just playing around, I was just imitating voices, and bigla na lang, you know, I discovered that, you know, and then I did it in my Araneta concert, and people loved it, and I started doing it sa mga shows ko, and I don't know, it's something that breaks the ice, because the image that people see when it's Jed Madela, it's always serious, big songs, and
I
they
know.
never think they never think that there's a humorous side or a funny side of Jed Madela. So I guess that's also one reason why I started, building that act, the imitating of voices.
Who's the favorite person you like to imitate? And can you give us a small sample? Okay
Ano
lang.
ba? Oo naman. Normally people would always ask for Regine. So, try nga natin. Wait lang. Naka-on ba to? Check, check, check. Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Kasi we need effects for that para mas may okay. So this is Regine. Ang pangarap ko'y nagmula sa'yo, sa iyong gandang puso'y di makalimot. Ang sarap nitong pag-ibig, lalo pa nung sinabi mo, dadalhin kita sa aking palasyo, dadalhin hanggang langit ay manibago. Ang lahat ng ito'y pinangako mo, dadalhin lang pala ng aming pangarap ko.
You really have it down to the finest detail, even the small shoulder shrugs.
well, those are the little things that people kind of tend to. If you could also see that my hands like doing this sa baba. that's how Regine is. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny, and sometimes I get embarrassed whenever sila mismo Miss Regine would message me na, "Hoy, pinagtripan mo na naman ako." So yeah.
So, being one of the people most artists look up to, what is your advice to those up-and-coming artists who are just starting in this industry and who is also caught up in this world of social distancing?
Well, of course, number one, talent is important. I believe that talent is important. I'm just so sad that, in this time of social media, sometimes talent is already, not a priority. Sometimes it's entertainment value. Bisan ano ka pa kalibagon kung sadya katanawon, people kind of support you. And bisan ano ka pa kalibagon or awkward magsaot, if you're so beautiful or you're so guapo, people will support you. So yeah, it's okay for entertainment value. It's fine, but until when, diba? Until when? The question there is the length of your staying power. So number one, talent will always keep you, you're gonna have a relevant and you're gonna have a tight grasp in the industry. So number one, talent. That's my advice. Hone your talent, practice your craft, and never ever stop learning. So that's one thing that I give as advice sa mga nag-start now. And number two, surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with the right people in the sense that, get somebody who believes in you to the point na bisan ikaw, sometimes you kind of doubt yourself, but that person will believe in you no matter what. Because that person will push you in times of doubt, in times na, hindi nako, kapoy, muna lang. Hindi, go lang. Ako, I had my tita, I had my classmates in high school. They were the ones, I just wanted to sing. And then, kung tamaran ako magkanta, kaya wala man kinatabo, I would stop. And then they would be the ones, sige na, intrato sa contest. So, that's a good example. So, surround yourself with the right people. Number three, always keep your feet on the ground. Because attitude is very important. Because no matter how talented you are, no matter how popular you are, if your attitude is zero, I mean, hambog ka, you only use people when you need them, hindi ka kabalo magpakisama, people will only, work with you once or even twice the most. Because, it's better to work with somebody na medyo okay lang ang talent, pero sobra ka dedicated, very passionate, and who knows how to give back, kabalo magpakisama, than somebody who is so talented, pero sobrang yabang naman, di ba? So, attitude is very important. And ano pa ba? If you love what you're doing, don't stop. Don't stop. Because, people will tell you na wala na yung direksyon ng showbiz, wala na yung kwarta, ang kanta-kanta, nakagsaot-saot na. And sometimes you would always feel that as well. Kasi I felt that during the times that I was starting. But, if you know your priorities, if you know what's important to you, of course we want to earn, but then the feeling, I'm sure you can relate to me when I say the feeling you get when you hear that applause, the feeling you get when even one person would say na, hoy, ginpasadya mo, ko yung performance mo. Sobra gid ko yung nag-enjoy. Wala na. It's all worth it. It's all worth the pagod. It's all worth the nega bashing and all. Bala na da. It's all worth it.
And
So
what I see in you, sir, is that you get to do what you love, and money just becomes a byproduct of being able to express yourself and bring happiness to the people who also support you. So
that's true. That's true. That's true kasi and it's not just, let's admit it, of course, when you sing and you hear the applause, it kind of makes you feel good about yourself as well. And that's also important. That's one thing that people forget nowadays. They tend to give, help, to the point that they already forget themselves. Do not forget yourselves. Self-love is important as well. So yung mga gahamba na sila nga, I'm just doing this to make people happy. Uy, ano to ako no? Diba? Yeah, you're doing it to make people happy, but you're also doing it to make yourself happy, because why do it if you're not happy doing it, diba? Kinanglan, it's a two-way street. Dapat happy ka man sa ginaobra mo. So that's also important. That's one thing that I also always advise to the young ones right now, because the young ones right now are so focused on making people happy, or what will other people think. Kailangan ano ko sila, impress ko sila. Yeah, they base everything on what people think, or what people will perceive of them or say about them. It's okay, but then the priority is how you feel, who you really are, 'di ba? Kung amo ni uso kag hindi kaya nga masagad ka dabi may entrada bi, 'di ba? Try to introduce yourself, and maybe people will accept you for who you are or whatever you can offer. So important gid na you think of yourself. It's okay to sometimes be selfish when you think of yourself.
And it actually shows that you continue to evolve. From a singer, you've become a host. From a host, you've acted in a few roles. So what song would best describe your whole career up until this time? What song would that be, sir?
I think it's this very particular song that it's an original song. I recorded it a couple years ago, and before I recorded it, the first time I heard it years back pa. When I heard it, sabi ko, I told the composer and the arranger, akin na yan. Because it's a story of my life. It's a story of the struggling artist. It's the story of somebody who wants so much, but sometimes nadadapa, sometimes nagfe-fail. And this song is called Di Matitinag. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that song. It's my song. It's an original piece written by some friends of mine from Davao, si Sir Cacho and Sir Jeremy. And yun nga, it speaks of the struggling artist na no matter what happens, huwag kang magpatinag, hindi ka gid magpapirde, because if it's for you, it's gonna happen. And if you work hard for it, it's gonna happen.
Can you give us a small sample?
Okay, sige. Di matitinag ng ulan, di matitinag ng bagyo, di matitinag ng mga panahong kasamaan may dala nito, di matitinag ng gulo, at kailan may dihintong abuti ng pangarap, abuti ng pangarap. Abuti ng pangarap, di matitinag.
Well,
There
thank
you
you very much for that free, wonderful concert.
go.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know what I did to deserve that, but thank you very much.
You're
So,
welcome.
Sir Jed, how can we reach you? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, your shows. How can we
Yes.
find you? How can we get to you?
Well, you guys, just follow me on social media. My Facebook is facebook.com/JedModelaOfficial. Twitter is Jed Madela, and Instagram is Jed Madela Official. And I also have a YouTube channel. It's Jed Madela Official. Tani supportahan ninyo. Please subscribe me on my YouTube channel. I most of my performances are all there, and the mga bisan mga wala pulos nga mga videos ara to tanan, and you get to see the other side of Jed Madela in my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys can subscribe to that, and also to those who are fond of toys or toy collecting. I also have an Instagram account. It's called Jed's Loot Box, and as well as a YouTube channel. It's also Jed's Loot Box. So hope you guys follow me on my social media accounts. Message me because ako gid ang naga-handle sa akong mga social media accounts, because I guess it's my way of being in contact with my supporters, with my friends and fans. So I don't usually let other people handle it like other artists, diba? So it's a personal thing. So please do follow me on social media, and let's kind of connect.
What are your shows? Shows that they
Well,
can catch you in.
Well, I'm still doing Tawag ng Tanghalan. We are back already, but this is gonna be all on digital, in the Kapamilya channel, sa YouTube ng ABS-CBN. I'm still Horado of Tawag ng Tanghalan, and of course every Sunday it's ASAP natin to. And yun pa lang ang mga TV shows that I'm into, and abangan ninyo because we are preparing. We as much as possible, we try to still do concerts. I just finished a concert a couple months ago. It's called New Normal, and abangan ninyo, we're doing another one pretty soon. So let's continue to entertain people through concerts. So again, just follow me on my social media accounts para ma-update ka mo.
The platform may be different, but the quality is still the same.
Dapat ganon.
And of course, our final message to our your Ilonggo fans, or your Ilonggo supporters.
Sa tanan nga mga kasimanwa ko, tanan nga mga Ilonggo nga gasuporta sa akon since nagsugod ko sang 2003. Salamat gid. Ay sobragid ko ka happy, sobragid ko ka proud to be an Ilonggo. I'm proud to carry the Ilonggo name here sa showbiz. Gamay lang kami but then I'm just so proud. I'm just so happy, and rest assured that I'm always here to carry the name of Iloilo and the Ilonggos with pride. And as long as you guys are there, nga magpamati kag magsuporta sa akon nga mga kanta, sa akon nga mga shows, I will continue to sing for all of you. I will continue to perform for the Ilonggos, no matter where I am, locally or even around the world. So again, salamat gid, and tani hindi ka mo makapoy nga magsuporta sa akon. Thank you gid.
There you have it, folks. This has been another episode, and thank you very much to Mr. Jed Madela for giving us his time of day, for sharing his talents with us, and for continuously raising the banner of Ilonggos in show business. So if you haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe down there. You can contact us, or you can give your comments and suggestions to @Iloilo Primagalaw Official, #exhibition, #shine on. Thank you very much once again, Sir Jed. And
Thank you din. Thank you very much. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako. And thank you, Sir D. Thank you very much sa tanan nga mga taga Primagalaw. You guys are amazing. Keep up the good work. You know how much of a fan I am whenever you have shows. Si utod ko to kag si Kaye nga kasin ko. They are a Primagalaw alumnus. Mga sila, mga sobra gid nakatutok sa Prima. So I'm just so happy that Primagalaw is doing very well and helping out in any way that they can to bring out the Ilonggo talent. So congratulations, and keep it up. And I'm always here to support you guys.
you know where to find Jed Madela, the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, Goodbye. We're out.